UK Gov. And the UK post bail is when someone is released from custody after being charged with a crime. But before the court hearing, the defendant must comply with any conditions of the bail and attend the court hearings. Well, that's definitely not been offered to her. From what we've heard today, they are absolutely holding on to her. So, yeah. So she could plead guilty. She could plead not guilty. But there will be a negotiation between both parties, I believe. I was in court every month, and prosecutor label was portraying me to be the Antichrist. My lawyer was portraying me to be a child protege, stock kid gone wild. Neither was the truth. It was all theatre. All theatre, folks. That's what court is. Reality's out the window. I didn't get to say a single word. I watched the prosecutor saying I was the Antichrist, watched my lawyer saying I was this. The truth was something in between. And each party, they're like used car salespeople. They're trying to put on the strongest story on this side and the strongest story on this side, and they meet somewhere in the middle. So yes, Julia's 4 charges carry a maximum of 12 months each. And if she was all found guilty on all 4 and they were stacked, she was be sentenced to 4 years in prison, 50% of which is 2 years, which is what she would have to serve. That is the absolute worst case scenario in this situation. And the prosecutor will dangle that over her head. So she will feel lucky for signing for time served, agreeing not to come back to the UK, from being banned from the country, and being prevented from ever interacting with the McCanns again.
Yeah, that's very true.
The only thing that could change that is if they do a DNA test in the meantime, and it comes out that she's Madeline. Then all bets would be off for the prosecutor.
Well, let's hope that they can push for that, because I think that's really what the bottom line here. That's what she wanted, and that's why she was reaching out, and that was the sole reason for her, trying to get some sort of a comment, and just at least to give her some breathing space to be able to talk to them and say why she needs to have the DNA. But I think everybody has now agreed that no matter what channel you go onto or what newspaper you look at, the biggest question is now, with this constant refusal to undertake a simple 60-pound DNA test, that's red flagging everybody to say, why? What is the reason? If you've got nothing to hide and you're absolutely sure that she's not related in any way at all, shape or form, then just do the DNA test.
And that is echoed by Yvonne and so many other people, and even the detractors, even the mainstream articles that are calling her a crackpot and a fake, are saying that now the police have got this in their hands, they should do the DNA test. Yvonne said, if she has been stalking the McCanns, it is strange that the McCanns won't eliminate her by doing this DNA test, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why go through years and years of alleged stalking and harassment, which is now becoming a criminal case, which is compounding everybody's trauma, when this could have been ended so months, years ago? This could have been ended. I'm flabbergasted. Even if they think she is crazy, they could have just said, let's do this. Goodbye, Julia. Like that, could have been over.
Yeah.
The fact that they're not doing the DNA test is adding to more suspicion about the authorities. And it's adding to the weight of her story. Thanks for the super chat, Noodles. So what will happen when they lie about her DNA? How can we help them? What would you say to that, Beverly? Can we trust them?
Personally, I don't think we can trust them, no, because if you look at this ball, that's this big ball of energy that's around this case, that has been in this case for years and years and years. There's just too many individual energetics that have their livelihoods at stake, have their reputation at stake. There's just too many bottom lines for other individuals here, there, and everywhere. There's just too much for everyone. There is no way that they're going to allow any of this DNA to show anything else other than that which they require it to show.
So Tony's wondering about contacting to find out what jail they've taken her to. So, Tony, typically when you've just first arrested, it's kind of like a transitional phase where you're in holding cells and they're shuffling you about. But now that she's been in court, she should be somewhere more settled. A few things on this. We will find out if there's an address that we can write to her to give her love. You see guys who are incarcerated, they're watching the officer with the mail go past their cells. They're heartbroken when they don't receive a letter. Mail in prison is like gold. But now we're in the internet era. There's also an email a prisoner website where we may be able to send in emails. We may be able to put money on her books so she can pay to email us back. She can buy commissary items. Now, a big factor in all of this is Julia's safety while she's incarcerated. And, you know, we started this channel as a prison channel back in 2007. We've interviewed over 1,000 people, including lots of these folks.
Oh, wow. Female gangsters.
So let me just say, we've got the biggest network in the country right now, with people incarcerated across the country. So my point here is that Julia is going to be safe while incarcerated. As soon as I get off this live, I will be making some calls and sending some messages to my friends in this book, many of whom have spent decades and know people all over the UK prison system. So Julia is going to be okay inside, because that is, you know, she's going to be worried out of mind right now about her own personal safety, but I'm going to get on top of that right away.
Oh, bless you, Shaun. You're our hero. You know that. You're an absolute hero. You really, really are. So glad that you could do that, because it's going to make a big difference for her. I keep getting the letter A. Now, I don't know what the prisons are in that area, but if there's one that's the letter A, because as I tracked her yesterday, when she was moved, I saw her, as you know, I'd already said I'd seen her in the vehicle going down a motorway, which has proven to be correct, because she was taken from the airport in Bristol down to Leicester. I actually do see her being taken down an area where it looks like an old, funny looking old castle type place, but probably not a castle, but it looks like one. And it begins with the letter A. So I'm not sure what there is down there, but there is something that she will be moved to at some point.
Yeah, because there's only a few female prisons in the UK. I've spoke at half of them. Let me just check. I'll check right now. UK female prisons and see if the letter A stands out on any of these. Women's prisons in the UK. It's got its own Wikipedia page.
Oh, wow.
And the first one that comes up is Askham Grange.
Oh,
that's the letter A one, which is located in Askham Richard Village in North Yorkshire, England.
Oh, yeah.
And Leicester is only a couple of hours below Yorkshire, I think. And that was opened in 1947.
Oh, it's really old then. Oh, Lord.
You've got Bronzefield, you've got Bulwood Hall, we've got Downview, Drake Hall, Durham, East Sutton Park, Eastwood Park, York, Foston Hall, Holloway. I think Holloway was closed down. I spoke there twice. I spoke to the general population, to the foreign population. And we've got Low Newton, Newhall, Peterborough. Yep, I've been to Peterborough. Send. That one is in Woking, Surrey. I used to live right by that one. And I've spoke at Send a few times. Spinning House and Style is up by Manchester, I believe, where one of our prison governors was working at Style, and she's got amazing stories of what it's like in Style, some insane stories. So is that, when I'm reading this Askham Grange, Beverly, are you picking anything up from that, as that's the only one that
must be the A then, because does it look a bit like a castle gone wrong type of thing. I don't know. I can't see any pictures of it, but
Oh,
I just
do you
saw
want
a
to see
very
it? Do you want to see
strange
it? Do you want to see? Do you want to see a
building.
picture of it? Do you want to see a
Go on,
picture of it?
show me, because I got the A. So there we go.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look.
Right. Can you see it?
Oh, so it's like an old Tudor hall type of thing.
Yeah.
So there's the spires and all the pointy build, and because when I saw the letter A, it doesn't look like a prison from the outside. Obviously, it is one, but if she goes there, at least she will be in a position that she can have a decent background, and it won't be too scary for her.
It looks like an old mansion, doesn't it? That's been converted.
It does. Yeah, it does. Wow.
I'm not aware of Julia's Polish parents' involvement.
They were asked. They were asked, by the way. They definitely were asked, and they had said previously in a comment that they provided. They did say that they are aware of Julia's constant internet activity, and also what she's been saying. They also have asked her repeatedly to cease and desist and not continue with her current actions, and that's basically all they said, which obviously we know she hasn't listened to, but they have asked her to stop, were the exact words. We have asked her to stop.
All right, before Ron's going to be coming in shortly to take over for the next couple of hours, but I'm just going to read the latest news then, because we've got well over 5,000 watching live right now. Many people have tuned in and weren't here at the beginning. And from what I said at the beginning, it's been updated a lot while I've been live. And this is just from 7 minutes ago now. And this is the BBC's official report. So Julia Wandel was arrested at Bristol Airport on Wednesday on suspicion of stalking involving serious alarm and distress. Court documents state she's alleged to have sent messages, left voicemails, turned up the family home. She's alleged to have gone to the home, as well as sending WhatsApp messages to Kate and Jerry and Instagram message to the siblings. The conduct, quote, had a substantial adverse effect on the family's day-to-day activities. When you knew or ought to have known that your course of conduct would cause alarm or distress. Prosecutor Ravinder Darak told the court today that Julia is alleged to have made persistent contact with the McCanns since 2022, which allegedly increased in frequency and became more alarming as she attempted to make the McCanns aware she was their missing daughter. A 60-year-old woman from Wales was also arrested alongside Julia on suspicion of stalking. She has been released on bail today, Leicestershire police said. Now, it'd be interesting to get her take, but she might be under some kind of instruction from her legal representatives not to say anything, because it could be used against her if she's got a pending case, which is what most lawyers tell their clients when they're originally arrested.
Yeah, most important thing is just to make sure that she's managing as best she can, because I just when I tune into her energies, this it's doing this. So I think if she's managed to get out of where she is, and hopefully they will find somewhere for her to go, and if she is going to be released, she'll be able to be somewhere that's really, really safe. I know that you, Shaun, and Jen offered to have her in your home because you've got space for her. So I don't know where she's going, unless she's going with the 60-year-old friend back to Wales. It would depend what the agreement is, because obviously she will have to tell the police where she's staying, what is the address, and be known at all times.
You mean when it comes to this next hearing, if she gets some love from the system and she gets bailed out? Yeah.
Yeah. Dear.
Yeah. So, are you back tonight with Ron on his Surviving live stream?
Yeah, I'm the co-host. I'm the co-host with Ron tonight, and we're probably going to be discussing a few of the other cases. We received another 3 new cases in this week, so we're going to be discussing that, and we will also be discussing some of the information about how remote viewing has directly helped Big Homie. It cut 6 months of investigation off his time, so he could get on and go and extract the individual. So yeah, we will be doing that tonight. Thanks.
Donna is wondering, Beverly, whether you are tuned into Julia's alarm and distress right now.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to send that information to her and just tell her to be calm. She is in a really almost traumatized state, but she's not fully there yet. But I think she is heading towards that. But I think because we know that she just freezes, she might just clam up and wait for someone to tell her where she needs to go and how she needs to do it. She will toe the line as best she can in her situation.
Now, this is an interesting question. Do they have to announce where Julia is being detained? Because it's a hell of a lot different here than it is in America. Because in America, the public are entitled to know right away. A prisoner gets assigned a number, and people can go online and put the number into the computer system, or call a hotline and put the number into that, and they will tell anyone where the person is being detained, what the charges are, etc. But in this country, it seems as if, like, some people, they want to hide them in the system and not let them know where the public. Do you remember, the Southport stabber, for example?
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's what they will do. The individuals that have a lot of skin in the game, and they'll want to make sure that they seclude her sufficiently, because the end game here is to break her. Sadly.
But if there isn't a way to email her or write to her, we're going to let you guys know as soon as possible. And if you have just tuned in, Julia's friend has started a Facebook group to free Julia. I've just signed up for it. They ask several questions, and I'm just put it in the live chat again right now, because it only had 43 people joined. And she has been remanded until the 7th of April, folks. So she's going to be, unless there's a major development, such as the DNA came out in her favor, she is going to be incarcerated until the 7th of April, while both sides prepare their cases. And what happens on the 7th of April is she could get out, it could get continued, there could be a resolution. There's a few different outcomes. And she will be housed in a female prison here in the UK until then. And we're going to find out where that is, and if you guys can send letters into her. And if you have just tuned in, episode 2 of Julia was taken down for legal reasons in the last couple of days, but it was reinstated today. We had some good news that we can't talk about, but the full backlist for the episodes is in the description box as well. All right, so here I've got more information from Sarah. Shaun, you have to be accepted through the jail as being an email contact, and she doesn't know us directly, so only emailing in post would be a better idea. Emailing in post. What does that mean?
I suppose a central email, maybe. Central email, possibly, maybe.
Okay. So yeah, we'll write. What I'll do is I'll write a letter to Julia. I'll contact Sinclair.
Yeah.
And find out what the protocol is. Get a letter sent in. See if we can get the email system set up. And because, like I said, it's a lifeline. When my blog was started, when I was incarcerated in the maximum security Madison Street Jail 2004, and people from all over the world started to leave comments, and my parents sent me the printouts from the blog, and I got pen pals. It was a lifeline, not just for me, but for the other prisoners I started to write about. People started to send them books, write to them as well. And you got people who think they're never, ever going to get out, and they're never going to be able to speak to anyone on the outside world. So it's very important, that we sustain the support that we've given her online while she was incarcerated. Kaz is laughing at me for thinking I could just go to the cop shop with my checkbook and bail her out, which I attempted to do the other night. People
Knight
still have
in shining armor. The hero. I think it's a good one. That's part of your soul destiny anyway, Shaun, is to be the hero. So you're doing what your soul has set aside for you.
I think I'm just making a fool of myself. All right, so boil It's saying, if Julie is found to be Madeline, how could a relationship with the McCanns ever be salvaged after this? What do you think about that, Beverly?
Well, I think that if that she was found to be the missing child, I think that that poor girl herself would be so relieved to know where she actually comes from. She will just do anything and everything to be able to make contact with her parents, if that is the case. I think she has a huge heart, and that she would then just immediately, if she is proven to be their child, she would just forgive them straight away. I think the issue has always been with the two individuals themselves, whether they would accept anything like that. But I think that they know full well what has happened, and they have inside information about what has actually happened to Madeleine, which hasn't been made public. So I think they're pretty sure that she won't turn out to be Madeleine.
Well, here's an interesting one. If she is proved to be Madeline, will she then become a British citizen, complete with the original real birth certificate? Wow.
Well, she would have a claim, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
She would have a claim. Ancestral claim.
Has John Wedger been contacted yet?
Yeah, he was contacted. I got hold of him last night, and because I work with him on cases anyway. And I'm checking my emails, and let me just see my texts, just see if John's come back. I will quickly just look for him. I don't see any message coming back from him just yet. There's other individuals that have come back, other police officers that I know that I asked questions of. No, John hasn't come back yet, because I asked him a few questions last night. No, he hasn't come back yet.
I've got more people asking for the link for the Facebook group. It's just been put in the live chat again. And if you're watching on replay, it's in the description box.